It's Kevin Keatsman Uncanceled on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. I'm Kevin Keatsman with you for the next hour leading up to the Vince Show. With so much going on, we'll keep you up to date on everything that's happening as it unfolds, and some unbelievable news over the weekend as everybody's talking about the floods in Texas and the tragedy with all the people that have died and the incredible flash flooding that took place. We'll have Gary Lezak joining us in about 30 minutes to maybe explain a little better how something like this happens. This was basically unprecedented rain in that area in a short amount of time, and just a stunning thing. We'll get Lezak's take. There's a lot of rain in Texas today, but not in those locations. It looks like most of it right now is to the north of there, so they're getting a little bit of a break, but there's rain possibly in the forecast, and I cannot imagine how bad it is. Full disclosure, my son lives in Austin and was very near a couple of the places. Not him personally at the time, but he lives very near where a couple of these things happen. He said it's just the entire region in Texas, they're just devastated. They just cannot believe what happened. So we'll talk with Gary Lezak coming up at 10:30 on that. We will recap a little fun from Independence Day because there was some really good stuff over the weekend. And we'll have some hot dog eating contest fun at the end with Mark. We'll let you know where our local guy finished in the Nathan's Famous contest. Joey Chestnut has nothing to worry about with our local guy. I can just tell you that. But we'll start today with anti-immigration protests and riots and signs and all kinds of crazy things happening in the capital city where they had to call in security over the weekend. And this hasn't been reported very much. You must be asking yourself, well, what the heck are we talking about? What's going on? I don't know this story. Oh, the capital city was Mexico City, where they've had it with illegals and non-Mexican citizens living there, taking over their housing, driving up their rents. They carry signs that say, pay taxes, learn Spanish, and signs that say, not your home, and signs that say, gringos, stop stealing our homes. You know what? I support them. I'm with them 100%. What's good for the goose, folks, is, as you know, good for the gander. And here we go. This is popping up all over the world. We're seeing it in Ireland, where there's violence all over Northern Ireland because they're open immigration policies. There are many places in Europe where the citizens have had enough. And at some point, it's a tipping point. And people get together and say, we're not going to be led by socialists anymore. We don't want open borders. We love our country. We love our history and our tradition. We love our language. We love our food. We love our families. We love our religion, and we love our culture. And that is just fine no matter where you live on this big, beautiful ball. I am all good with that. But they are hot and bothered in Mexico right now. And part of it is Americans, expats, they call them, that have purchased real estate, moved into Mexico City. They're spending their money there and developing businesses, doing whatever, and maybe not becoming citizens. They're still American citizens. They're allowed to live there and run businesses and all these things. They don't like it. What they don't like, what ultimately everyone is protesting here, and they don't even know it because they vote for it over and over and over again, is socialism. That's what they don't like. They vote for these people, then the policies are implemented, and they go, good Lord, this is horrible. You're going to make me wear a mask. You're going to make me take a shot to keep my job. You're going to, make me do these things, that thing, this thing. You're going to give an average Social Security check out every month that's like $1,800 for American citizens. Give $3,000 a month to illegal aliens. Yes, people see it, and then they get sick of it, and they turn on this. And it's not a humanitarian crisis unless the people who come here illegally make it a humanitarian crisis. When they're smuggling kids across the border for money, when they're getting paid to bring drugs in, when they're doing all the things that we saw for 4 years under Joe Biden's regime, illegally across the border, that was a humanitarian crisis. And it created a crisis for American citizens that didn't have a crisis prior to that. We were okay. It was going fine. And now we have 13,000 murderers that are illegal aliens, murderers. And many of them committed multiple murders. I mean, we've probably had like 20,000 people murdered by these folks over the last few years. It's absolute insanity. And in Mexico City, they've had enough. They hate the high rent. It sounds like New York City. Mexico City's bigger than New York City, I'm pretty sure. It's absolutely one of the largest cities in the world. It's a massive population. The cost of living has gone through the roof. It is not clean. It is not safe. There are all kinds of problems in Mexico City, and the people have had enough, and they're blaming foreigners. They're blaming not just Americans. They're blaming illegal aliens who want to come live in Mexico or really want to get to America, but maybe stop in Mexico, from Spanish-speaking countries, but also from the Middle East, from Africa, from Asia, and they don't speak the language. And there are signs everywhere in Mexico City. Speak the language. Pay taxes. Pay taxes. Speak Spanish. I get it. I'm with them. I stand with our Mexico brothers, Mexico City brethren, for standing for this. They love their culture. They love their city, and they want it back. They don't want everybody from around the world in Mexico City. They want Mexicans there. And I'm for them. And we're seeing this in a lot of different places, and I think that's just a great sign. Happy to see it and happy to report it to you to get this week started right. The other story that caught my eye really over the weekend, and I know Pete talked about this on his show today, is Elon Musk. And I'm going to be curious to see if he does a sit-down interview to see if this man is right at this point, because he's always been a little odd, brilliant, genius, likable enough, but a little off. I think most real high IQ people probably are like that. That's not an insult. That's a compliment. But he was having so much fun, like a kid, out there on the campaign trail with Trump at the rallies. Like he was 11 years old, just having the time of his life. And he loved the policies, and Trump wins. And he famously posted on X, if Trump hadn't won, that would have been the last election in the United States. Meaning, uniparty. Democrats take over forever. Well, now he's complaining the Republicans and Democrats are together on the uniparty, which, I'm sorry, I can buy into a lot of things, but I can't buy into that. These people hate each other. On the opposite ends of the spectrum, they just have disdain for one another. I'm sorry. You hear the things that Chuck Schumer says. You watch the Democrats, zero of them vote for anything in the bill. They literally are voting for taxes to go up 68% by not voting for this big omnibus bill. That's literally the case that was made. So Elon Musk is ticked off that there isn't more budget cutting. I get that. And I've been rooting for a third party for a long time. I want it to come from the left. I hope the Democrat Party has a come to Jesus meeting and get together and they go back to what they were, which is left of center, but somewhere near the center. And they kick the AOCs and the Bernies and some of those people out, and those people get sick of it and they branch off and start their own party. That's a dream come true for traditional conservative Americans, of which most people are. Some don't know it and some don't vote it, but they believe in those traditions. They believe in freedom of speech, freedom of religion. They believe in a strong military. They like American greatness. They're proud of their country. There's a lot of Democrats that feel that way too, and their party is leaving them. Well, this isn't a movement that Elon Musk wants to do. This can't be right. You're going to do what they did with Ross Perot in 1992. We've learned this lesson. George H.W. Bush, went back on his promise to not raise taxes. He raised taxes. And the right side, the conservative side, the side that I'm with, of the Republican Party got so ticked off, they demanded somebody else run than George W. Bush. You turned on us, George H.W. Bush. You turned on us. And that is how Ross Perot was basically born. A Texas businessman, plain speaker, $6 haircut every Saturday at the barbershop. You know that guy. And it was all about money. And it was all about conservatism. And he went out and he got 19% of the vote, leaving George Herbert Walker Bush with 38%. Well, that wasn't very good. But you can see how many people didn't vote for a Democrat. 57% of America didn't vote for the Democrat. Bill Clinton only got 43% and won the presidency. We can't do this again. This can't be done. If this is some sort of personal vendetta or something, and Trump typically wins, okay? He's going to win. He's going to win this thing with Elon, but we can't have this third party. We can't have it in even the state elections, like senators. You cannot have an independent third-party candidate that is far right go suck up 8 or 10% of the votes, even in red states. We're going to lose everywhere. And Elon's a really smart guy. I don't know why he doesn't understand that politics are messy in this country isn't perfect, and the bill isn't perfect, and Republicans and Democrats aren't. If he wants to fund candidates to become the Republican nominee for any race anywhere, I'm all for it. Go get your conservative guys, man, and women. Line them up. Primary and challenge anybody, but put them in the Republican Party. Give them a chance to win. You may get one or two candidates in some small race win somewhere and think you're making a big deal out of it, but you're going to kill really important Republicans in Senate seats. Or God forbid, in 2028, we're sitting here talking about a presidential election that's lost because of a third-party America Party candidate. And I'm not sloughing this off. There's a political science professor at Georgetown that was quoted about this weekend, and he said, third parties are like honeybees. They sting you and then they die. Well, I don't want to get stung in 28, even if they die shortly after that. I'm not down with this, Elon Musk. We got to find a way to keep this from happening. He's got enough money to be dangerous and fund races that can be really damaging and beneficial to the Democrats. The question is he so mad at Trump that he now wants to destroy MAGA? Because he just said Trump saved democracy in this country, and he's been wearing a MAGA hat for over a year. I don't understand Elon Musk, unless he's another Mike Pence, another Mark Cuban, just another guy that got all the way to the top and got sideways with Trump, and it's personal. That has to be what this is. Right now, we're taking your phone calls at 913-408-7957, and we start today with Joe in Fairway. Good morning, Joe. You're on Uncanceled. How are you today?
Good, Kevin. I'm all for the new party.
Okay, why?
Well, we need a party that advocates fiscal responsibility. If the Republican Party wasn't for increasing the debt by $3 trillion, maybe we wouldn't need a new party.
What if the debt goes down over the next 3 years? Because Trump says it's going to. The Congressional Budget Office.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Trump said
the
going to.
CBO.
I guess that takes care of it.
The CBO is projecting 1.8 GDP growth over the next few years. Trump, when he was president before, it was 3%. They're guaranteeing, basically, and saying this the hard part out loud, they're guaranteeing it's going to be at least 3%, that the CBO is wrong. They privately think it's going to be 4%. And if that happens, we're going to be bringing the numbers down. I'm not sitting here telling you it's going to. I'm just telling you what they're saying. The problem with starting another party is you're just going to lose elections and hand everything to the Democrats. Do you want that?
Well, are these people going to vote for Republicans anyway? I mean, what makes you think they would vote for Republicans who advocate more
Let me give you an example. Let's say 2028, the America Party candidate for president is Rand Paul. J.D. Vance is the Republican, and Gavin Newsom is the Democrat. Who do you think wins?
I don't know.
Sounds like you'd vote for Rand Paul.
Of those three?
Yeah.
Yes, but actually I'm in another political party, so I would vote for my party's candidate.
What are you, Libertarian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, the America Party is going to be very close to Libertarian. It's going to be right of the Republican Party. So is that what you do every time, is you vote for the Libertarian?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have Libertarians running in all the races.
Right. Okay. So do you think Republicans are better than Democrats?
Usually.
But you
almost always.
But you never think
Almost
about your
always.
vote that way, like I've got to prevent the Democrat from being in charge.
In Kansas, it's not an issue.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Maybe
I don't know.
in
You've got a
certain
Democrat
places
governor.
In Missouri, it is, but not in Kansas. But Kevin, do you think it's okay to run as an independent?
No.
What makes the difference between being an independent or being in a political party?
If
we
AOC
need people to have a choice for fiscal responsibility.
If AOC wants to run as an independent against Gavin Newsom in the general election in 2028, I'm all for it. Let her split the Democrat vote. Independent can be anything. I'm all for Democrat independence. Yes. I wish Bernie Sanders had been in the race and run as a Democratic Socialist independent or something. It can be done.
What you're saying is people should accept mediocre Republicans instead of good candidates outside the Republican
No,
Party.
I'm saying you don't ever let anybody destroy our republic with open borders and socialism. All right, there's a certain class of people in this country that want to protect the American way, which is basically the way of Western civilization. And we're trying to keep that and save Western civilization while the rest of the world is trying to go socialist and destroy it in every way that they can. I don't want that to happen. I think job one is make sure that the socialists don't destroy our country. That's job one.
Interest on the debt is the number 2 item on the budget. What are we going to do when it's the number 1 item on the budget?
I don't know. What are you going to do in 3 years if it's coming down?
Okay. Prosperity is right around the corner.
Well, if it is, I mean, there's a way to do it. We're cutting expenses right and left. I heard Pete say earlier today, what did he say, 7 million able-bodied young men are in this country? Thanks for the call. I really appreciate it. That was a good call. 7 million men, I ran the math real quick. If they paid $10,000 in federal income tax and they were all working, that's $70 billion in taxes collected. That's just from American citizens that aren't working, that are sitting at home collecting Medicaid. Forget what you're saving in Medicaid payments to these people. When you get people working, it's unbelievable what happens. And when their taxes are lower, they spend even more and your GDP goes up. Companies are investing here. It will work. It has worked almost every time. There have been world events, global events, when things like this, when Republicans are in charge and they do this economically, there have been times that it's been stopped because of, COVID got in the way of Trump. Trump was steamrolling the economy. We were well on our way. And of course, I wish there was $3 trillion worth of cuts in this bill. Of course I do. But if there are meaningful cuts, which they say they have, and we grow the economy in a strong enough fashion, there's a chance that our debt could come down. We'll have to see. Here's Mark and Shawnee. Welcome to Uncanceled. Mark, how are you?
Good, Kevin. Great subject, and thank you for what you do for America. And it's this kind of topic. And I guess that what I wanted to weigh in with is, idealistically, it would be great to say, let's start this new party, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to reduce the debt. Unfortunately, Musk deals in, I'm the man. I own my business. I can make these decisions. I'll buy this company, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of these people, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's how an entrepreneur does, and that's why he's so successful. But we're dealing with politics here, and we have to deal with the lesser of all evils. I agree. It would be nice. Trump would love to do that, but he understands that he's got to work this party through the political opponents that we have, and that's the real problem. And we just have to realize, again, the lesser of all evils. So that's kind of where we're at.
If I had Elon Musk's money several years ago, when BLM was formed and what they were doing, if I had his money and nobody knew my politics, whatever, I would have founded the BLM party, and I'd have poured billions into it. And I'd have said, we're going to get people to run in every race everywhere. And I would have very privately to myself done that to make sure Democrats were losing elections. And nobody would have known I was doing that. We want a third party. We just want it on the Democrat side. We don't want it on the conservative side.
That's right. That's right. We gotta again look at how can we keep winning. And unfortunately, in this divided atmosphere, we have to again go with the lesser of all evils.
You got
it.
And
that's unfortunately where we're at.
Well done, buddy. Appreciate the call, as always. Interesting discussion. Coming up next, Gary Lezak will join us from weather2020.com. We'll talk about those incredible storms that poured through Texas with all that tragedy this weekend. It's always great to have my dear friend Gary Lezak on the broadcast from weather2020.com. You want to see some great forecasts and long-range forecasts, really long-range, not 10-day, 10 months sometimes. It's weather2020.com. Last year, 6 months before the Chiefs season started, Gary predicted rainstorms for the opener. And, of course, it happened, and the Chiefs game was delayed. He joins us now. We'll talk about the flooding in Texas and what happened there in a bit, but it's always good to check in with our dear friend. Gary, how are you, sir? Oh, I got to hit that.
Good morning, Kevin.
Yeah, so your TV gig is up. You did this now for like the last 2.5 months, and last Thursday was your last day?
It's, those maternity leaves are 3 months. I did it for 3 months.
Now,
Lindsay Anderson was on maternity leave, and she came back today. So I got my time. I'm filled. I'm done. That was fantastic. But now she's back. But she's only back for a week. Friday's her last day.
Okay, this is where where I'm going now, don't you? I don't know whether I love her or hate her. What's the deal? Okay, she took her 3 months, came back, and announced she's retiring.
Yeah, well, she's got 2 kids, and she wants to be the mom at home, and she's got the capability to do that. So she's very excited about it, and she's going to be being an at-home mom for a while. You know, it's going to be great.
And people think it's great to own a business and have employees. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
They paid her. They paid you. She comes back. She quits.
Yeah.
Now what? Are you going to fill in again?
No, I'm done. It was exciting. I got up at 1:30 in the morning for 12 weeks,
God.
and I'm not going to ever do it again. Okay, I've got Weather 2020. We have social media, my YouTube channel and Facebook and all that, and we can, connect in other ways. But no way. It was fun to fill in. I love doing it. I love doing it, but that's it. I'll do it in other ways.
How many days in were you when you went, oh, my God, what am I doing?
Never, not once.
Really?
I loved it. Because I knew I had a plan. Well, I knew it'd be 12 weeks. I knew July 3rd was going to be my last day, and so since that was always there, I in my career, Kevin, from day one all the way through 40 years of how many days that would be at work, I never once felt like I was coming to work.
Right.
Okay, I just every time it was the same thing for these 12 weeks. Now that it's over, though, it's still work. So
Right.
I've got other things I'm working on,
What time did you go to sleep if you got up at 1:30?
7:30 or 8.
Buddy.
So 6 hours at the most, Some days, there were a couple of days where I had 1 hour sleep.
Oh, buddy. I got mad respect for you. That is awesome. Okay, so you famously a year ago on my podcast, 6 months out, predicted it was going to rain, storm the night the Chiefs opener. Have you looked at the football schedule yet? Well, let me ask you first about our summer. We're getting into July and August. Is everything going to burn up? Are we going to be hot and dry this summer, or are we going to get some rain?
Well, we're going to get some rain. I mean, over in Park, there's been an area that keeps getting missed, but the pattern is cycling. It's regular, and it's going to continue to cycle. And so yes, it's going to be. There's going to be a couple periods where it gets hot and dry. But overall, there's going to be more chances for rain. At least the next couple of weeks, there's more chances for rain showing up. And I think we're good.
We seem to be in the fizzle-out territory. They say it's coming, and then it doesn't. Does that happen in July and August?
Who's they?
I don't know. People were saying it was going to rain all weekend, and it didn't. Not you?
They did.
Not you?
No, I'm not they.
I know that.
So,
Are you he, him?
The rain has been happening around Kansas City, but if you're in like Overland Park, if you're like your area has just been missed over and over and over again. While Maryville had 10 inches of rain, you had 1 inch of rain, so it's ridiculous.
Well, I'm going to tell you who they are. They is my wife Jessica and her friend Tina. So there you go.
Okay, there you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. I just call it the Global Predictor. If you go to weather2020.com, you can get the Global Predictor. Go to the App Store, get the Global Predictor Pro. It does cost $5.99, but if you get it per month, then I can tell you right now, on the 14th of September, right now it forecasts a high of 78 degrees for the Chiefs game.
That's fantastic.
All right?
It'd be a great day
and
for a
that's
game.
the Eagles. That's the Eagles game, and it does have a shower or thunderstorm, but more likely no. It is dry. It is dry on the 14th. Last year I told you there would be a lightning delay, and we had one. This year it looks dry.
Dry, 78 degrees. That's a 3:30 kick on a Sunday afternoon. I think that's going to be great.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It may be in the low 80s, but somewhere in that range. So upper 70s to low 80s. What's wrong with that?
I love it, man. I think I'll be there.
And I'm going to be there. Well,
let's meet up. Yeah. Let's get a tailgate.
Okay.
Let's have a tailgate party. We'll have a KCMO tailgate party. We'll get a sponsor and have a big time.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Okay, let's get serious for a moment and explain to me what the heck happened in Middle Texas, because as I understand it, this was an area where they typically get about 2 inches of rain per month in July, annually, each July, 2 inches. And they got 13, 14 inches in just a matter of hours. What the heck happened, and how unusual was this?
We had what's called an MCS, a mesoscale convective system that formed right over the Guadalupe River, right in that vicinity where they had the major flooding. It was really, this is just a major human disaster. It's absolutely horrific, and there's still some rescues going on. Hopefully they find somebody alive today. I hope so. But it's just it has happened in the past. In 1987, it happened. In 1978, it happened. In 2002, I believe it happened. That area has had major floods before. In July, they may average 2 inches of rain, but you can get a big complex of thunderstorms if it's in the wrong spot, like it was there. They got 16, 18, even 20 inches of rain in a couple spots in that 12-hour period. All the watersheds flowed right into that river basin and caused the major flood, which is just ridiculous. So it has happened in the past. People that wonder about Doge or they wonder about, climate change. No, this has happened in the past before. It has nothing to do with climate change. Absolutely zero. I mean, literally this event is potentially, it's happened in the past. It's going to happen in the future. Maybe it won't happen for 40 more years. I've got ideas on how to prevent it, but to prevent the fatalities, evacuation of people early. But they would have only had 3 or 4 hours warning, and would they have acted on it? Because if you had 15 flash flood warnings in the past few years and then it doesn't happen, how do you convince people to leave? You probably can't.
Right. And once it started, it rose really, really, really fast. I mean, this was a tragic thing. Some of the video I've seen, the only thing I can remember was maybe 15 years ago, there was an earthquake or something in the ocean somewhere. You remember seeing the video of the resort where they had a camera on a hotel and like the tsunami was coming and the wave wiped them?
Yeah, I remember that. It was similar to that.
That was unbelievable. When I saw the river and what it did, I'm like, oh my God, look what's coming. It looks like something out of a science fiction movie.
I know. It was absolutely real. And it was extremely sad. But yeah, I saw the video and it was like that tsunami from the Southeast Asia. It was ridiculous. And but it rose real fast and people got caught and a lot of people lost their lives.
Are they still in danger right now if they get just like regular rain?
No.
Okay.
In order for another flood like that to happen while they're all working on there, it would have to be another 10-inch rain event. And that's okay. That is just, and if that happens, of course, they're all going to know because now they're all aware.
This is receded. It's basically flushed through and gone. This is not like New Orleans after Katrina.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's already receded. This is the horrific part of weather. When there's a tornado, it can be a blue sky 3 hours later, and yet a town's destroyed. Yeah. When there's a flood, the flood goes all the way back down, and yet 80 lives have been lost. It's horrible.
Yeah, terrible stuff. Okay, I want to ask you about a couple topics that I've seen popping up, and I don't know anything about, but I just want to know what you think because you are the expert. Is there such a thing as cloud seeding? Are we going to be able to make it rain? And I've seen people posting that there's been that going on in this part of Texas because it can be really dry, and for agricultural purposes, they try to do that. Is that possible?
They try to do it. There is a whole process down there, and in Texas, in that region, they are experimenting with cloud seeding. But no, it is absolutely impossible. There is no way that humans can affect rainfall patterns. The rainfall patterns are just tremendously huge, and the impact from humans. Maybe if you influence it, and 10 inches of rain is going to fall, then maybe 10.01 inches of rain is going to fall. You get 1/100th of an inch more with cloud seeding. Cloud seeding doesn't work. It's a complete waste of time and a complete waste of money.
Okay. What do they try to do? They fly airplanes up there and do something in the clouds?
Yeah, they release some ingredients, some chemical mixture into the clouds to try to produce rain. But if the cloud isn't going to produce rain, it's not going to work. It's going to only work when you already have a thunderstorm. And then if you do that and there's any manipulation possible, then you prevent some rain falling in one spot and it rains more in another spot. So it's not like it really is ineffective.
I think I just heard you say they're trying to create chemical rain. How can this be legal? That can't be good for you.
Chemical rain.
Well, if they're using chemicals to do it and it comes down as rain, you got chemicals.
The nitrous oxide, whatever they use in the clouds, it's not going to impact any dangerous chemicals to us on the ground. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and Roundup never hurt anybody either, right?
Yeah, I'm shocked that this continues to even. Yeah, Roundup is different.
It is? They're not spraying Roundup in the clouds? This is good to know.
Yeah, you're not going to spray Roundup into your cereal.
All right, I saw a guy this weekend. He's a former television meteorologist, and he claims, and he's older, but he claims many, 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 many years ago when he was on TV, I think this might have been the 70s or something, he was in New Mexico, and he met aliens. And they're real, and they're tall, and they're white. Dude, is there life out there somewhere, Gary? You know all about the science here. What do you think?
This old meteorologist saw these things?
He said he was part of some study. They brought him in as a meteorologist. The government hired him to come in and study something, and these people were there. These aliens were there or something.
I wouldn't be shocked if there's aliens living amongst us. But I doubt it. But I wouldn't be shocked at the same time. I mean, as we get older, Kevin, we realize this life is absolutely fascinating that we're even alive. It's just crazy. So, are there aliens? Maybe.
I mean, I think it's possible AOC's an alien. What about Joe Biden? He was a robot. I mean, we got all kinds of people here. I meet people all the time like they're not from this world. I don't know who they are. So I do think there's something somewhere. I don't know. I don't know the science. I don't know how big the galaxy is and the solar system and all that stuff. But it seems to me like it'd be pretty random if we're the only place.
If we're the only what? The
only life anywhere.
Oh, yeah. No. There has to be life somewhere else. I mean, if you think about the universe, it is absolutely, it's almost unfathomable to think about. There's, probably thousands of other Earths out there, so that happen to be in the right spot. But to have life, intelligent life, the odds are extremely high that it exists.
What about these?
May be here.
What about these things the pilots are all seeing that they don't know what they are? What do you think those are?
I don't know. I saw something awfully strange when I was in let's see, where was I? Marco Island. And I was at the Marriott looking outside on my balcony to sit out there. I have video of it, of this weird thing going in and out and moving all over the place. And it was not a drone. It was way up high and it was moving. I could see it. I have video of the whole thing. So there's something weird that is out there.
That's awesome. Okay, 78 degrees, beautiful day for the Chiefs and Eagles. September 14th, I think is the date, Sunday afternoon, 3:30 Arrowhead Stadium. We will look forward to that one, Gary.
And
you are the man.
The biggest factor is the global predictor right now using the LRC shows no rain on I'm looking at it right now, the 14th of September. And if you want your Christmas forecast right now, get the Global Predictor Pro.
Okay, or any other big sporting event or anything people like to do. You got a wedding weekend? You want to plan a wedding, something like that?
Absolutely. We've been almost 100% accurate on predicting wedding forecasts. So
weather2020.com, get the global predictor, and you can have it as far out as how far? 10 months?
6 months.
6 months. 6 months out. There you go. Gary, you're the best, buddy. We appreciate your time, and thanks for explaining what happened in Texas, man. We're all praying for those people.
All right. I got a lot of other things to talk to you about. You have to call me.
Okay. On the air or off the air? Can we just do it on the air sometime?
We could, but the off-the-record type stuff.
Oh, okay. I'll call you in 20 minutes.
Sounds good.
I'll see you then, buddy.
I'll be standing by.
All right, thanks.
All right.
He's Gary Lezak. It's weather2020.com is his website, and it's spectacular. The long-range forecasts are to believe in. Over the weekend, the 4th of July hot dog eating contest took place. Nathan's Famous at Coney Island, I guess, right, in New York. Joey Chestnut, 17-time mustard belt champion, ate 11 hot dogs and buns in the first minute. It's a 10-minute deal. In 10 minutes, he did 70 and a half hot dogs. Mark?
Man, at that 5-minute mark, he was on pace. I can't remember the exact pace, but it was like 90-something hot dogs.
He does slow down.
Yeah, you got to slow down the final 5 minutes. But, man, it's just kind of like see how fast you can go the first 5 and then just roll it out and take the win.
It seemed like they had more competitions this year. They did other foods and everything else. Weren't there like 10 competitions or something?
Oh, yeah. They do everything. And I think you can only, for Joey, he can compete in multiple ones, but not on the same day.
Right.
Only can do the hot dogs on July 4th.
That's unbelievable. Cameron Mead from Shawnee, who's not really, originally these folks are, I think, from Indiana. So they're claiming him too. There were 15 contestants, and Cameron Mead from Shawnee finished 15th.
Okay, I saw his name pop up, and I thought that was the guy, but it said, like, Indiana under his name, and I was like, that should be our guy.
I think they live here now is the thing, so, whatever. He had 20 3/4 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. So,
still solid.
Yeah. For any normal person, that'd be great, but that's probably not going to get him invited back. He's going to need a bigger number than that. Bobby Witt made the All-Star team. We didn't doubt that he would. Chris Bubich has made the All-Star team, left-handed starter for the Royals with a 2.36 earned run average. Maikel Garcia did not at third base. Your thoughts, Mark?
It was going to be tough to get 3 Royals on this year with their record. If they would have been at the top of the standings, I think they could have got 3 or 4 maybe, but I think it's all right where they go.
Did you see who made it over Maikel Garcia?
I did, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Jazz Chisholm.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, Garcia's got a better WAR statistic. He's obviously got a batting average 50 points higher, but didn't make it. Then this was one of my favorites last week. Pat McAfee does a podcast, but it's also a television show on ESPN. And they did a segment about Dan Mears, who has been KC Wolf for 35 years, the longest running actual mascot in NFL history. Legendary figure. And they've sort of revealed who he is now, and he's on kind of a victory tour, great career and all those things, which was nice. While Pat McAfee was talking about him, they showed a picture of Chiefsaholic.
No, Pat.
Yes.
Come on, Pat.
Do you know why?
I know that they've talked about Chiefsaholic in the past a lot. They love him.
He was rooting for Chiefsaholic all through the time. And so I think it was just in the computer with the McAfee show. So when the graphic comes up, it's like Chiefsaholic, there he is.
Chiefs
they don't
mascot,
know. Yes, because Chiefsaholic looked like a Chiefs mascot.
Chiefs Wolf, yeah.
No, there was a time, we've forgotten this, and it wasn't funny at the time. It was like OJ, people rooting for Chiefsaholic to rob banks, get away with it, and not go to jail because he was a Chiefs fan.
That's crazy.
These same people are now mad at me for posting that Patrick Mahomes is fat, and he is. He is. And I posted it. It was awful. He looked terrible on that boat this weekend in Miami. He looks bad. No, he looks bad compared to the other quarterbacks. I'm just saying it. They report next week. Mahomes has got 15, 20 pounds to lose, man. He's carrying it. Dad bod in full force. Thanks for listening to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. The Vince Show is up next.